Hey everybody, welcome to Fantastic Comics Presents. My microphone's all the way over here and I just realized it. But that's good because I have some videos to show you. And on the other side, we'll talk about all the stuff scrolling on the bottom of the screen. So stay tuned.
Hey, I'm Dustin Nguyen, and Fantastic Comic Shop is the best comic shop in the world. I don't know, is it really?
T-C.
The shinola on that one. All right. Now, I would like to address this arts funding issue. Now, this all reminds me of a humorous story of the traveling salesman. Let's say that the taxpayer is a farmer and the government is a salesman. Well, the farmer says you can spend the night in my barn, but do me a favor, don't stick your willy into any of the 3 holes in the wall. Well, in this case, the salesman's willy represents the taxpayer's money, you understand? Well, the government, like the salesman, can't help himself. Sticks his willy in the first hole, it feels good. Sticks his willy in the second hole, it feels even better. Sticks his willy in the third hole, and it hurts like hell, and it won't let go. Well, in the morning, the farmer comes out and he explains. Behind the first hole was my wife. Behind the second hole was my daughter. And behind the third hole was a milking machine that don't let go till it gets 50 gallons. Gentlemen, I propose that this arts funding is like a milking machine, and unless we shut it down, it's going to rip our dicks right off.
So tell me again about the 79 countries.
It's like this. Cartoon Network's the same in those countries as it is here, except for little differences.
Example.
Okay. Know what they call pound puppies in Paris?
They don't call them pound puppies.
Nah, they don't have pounds in France. They have the metric system.
Then what do they call them?
They call them Les Puppies Royale.
No way.
Yeah.
Well, what do they call Smurfs in Spain?
Like a Smurf is a Smurf. They just call them Los Smurfs.
Los Smurfs?
Yeah, and in Morocco mole is just called mole.
Everyone is here.
It's quite a turnout.
Look over there. It's the bearded specter. Oh my god, look what he's got on.
Are those giant shorts or tiny pants?
Who still wears those?
Sweetie, isn't that the guy from Depeche Mode?
Oh, no, wait, where? Holy crap, he's with a girl.
Oh yeah, that guy is totally straight. I saw a whole thing about him on the VH1.
But he's the guy from Depeche Mode. It's impossible.
Straight.
Come on, he's in Depeche Mode.
Wow, look at this laundry list of complaints. So you have no direction, no college ambition, no job prospects?
Yeah, it also says I have no dick. But you'll notice that follows the financial question, proving once more what women really look for.
What do you do for money anyway?
Blood bank, sperm bank. I'm currently considering the eye bank.
Wow, she calls you callow in here.
You say that like it's bad.
It means frightened and weak-willed.
Really? Shit. That was the only part of the letter I thought was complimentary.
I couldn't find it anywhere. How did you get fleas anyway?
I don't know. Who could have been in my apartment?
I looked everywhere, even under the couch, but all I could find were these stupid chunky wrappers. I couldn't
Wait a
find
second. Did you say chunky wrappers?
Yeah.
Let me see those. Oh, I know the chunky that left these chunkies. Newman! I got it!
Have you even heard him sing?
He made me sing last night. And if I were straight, I'd make you high-five me right now.
You are letting your judgment be completely clouded by lust.
Yes, thank you. See, Robert, Saul gets it.
Look, this isn't about me anymore. That dunce cannot be Sky.
Robert, I hear you, but I feel like you're not even considering Stevie's badonkadonk.
I'm married to a woman.
These are all my regulars. You strike me as a angry top. I'm clean, but you do have to glove up unless you're down for some frottage.
Frottage?
It's French for rubbing our dicks together.
Kill or be killed, what is it going to take for people like you and Dingle to get along with the East Coast?
Look, I don't know, man. I mean, these guys got their fucking talking dolls and shit.
Questions, Professor Pickles?
What? I ain't no Professor Pickles.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, don't mess with the East Coast. Look, I don't need you defending me, you howdy-doody looking motherfucker. I'm out of here, yo. Yeah, I'm with him. Man, step off.
John, the kind of control you're attempting is, it's not possible. Listen, if there's one thing the history of evolution has taught us, it's that life will not be contained. Life breaks free, it expands to new territories, and it crashes through barriers painfully, maybe even dangerously, but, well, there it is. There it is.
You're implying that a group composed entirely of female animals will breed?
No, I'm simply saying that life, finds a way.
All right, come out to our blast out.
For shame, Doc. Hunting rabbits with an elephant gun.
Elephant gun?
That's right, Doc. So why don't you go shoot yourself an elephant? You do, and I'll give you such a pinch.
We're going to start our volleys. We hope you like the show. Everything is ready. We're raring to go. We'll give you all the latest songs and dances full of them. We're gonna start with high jump. Just watch this chorus steps.
Originally settled as Ocean View during the 1850s, the city's population boomed with displaced
But in my own way, I am king. Hail to the king, baby.
Hey everybody, welcome to Fantastic Comics Presents. Sorry I'm a little late. Things were running a little late and I got sidetracked and here we are. But don't worry, I'm not going to take up much of your time. If you have anything to say to me though, you should let me know in the live chat. And if you have any questions for me or want to just give me some applause, some accolades, let me know in the comments down below. And if you're new here, you should do the whole like and subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell for notifications. Well, I was going to say yada, 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 but I think I said everything. There you go. We're going to talk about the state of comic books because I know you're out there and you're hearing. I don't need these on. You're hearing about the state of comics, and you're like, but is it true? Is it really true? Is what I'm hearing actually an honest representation of what's going on in the industry? Or is it just somebody's opinion? And well, let me tell you, I got an opinion. And I'm going to let you hear it. And we're going to get to your comments. If you have any things that you're looking forward to coming up in the week, or anything that you liked in the past week, let me know. We'll discuss that. First up, last week we were talking about how people are pretty hot for this Orc book, or at least they were a week ago, and like there were crazy sales going on, on the internet for them. And can it really sustain itself? Is there another comic that can follow, and can this success continue? Or is this just people getting out there speculating and making people frothy with FOMO? Well, last week I talked about how there were new books that were coming out. I think I talked about Muppets Noir. And I talked about I can't remember, a few other books that were coming out. And they all sold out in my store, but they're still available, so I can reorder them. I have reordered them. They're going to be back in stock. There were a lot of Marvel books that were like that, and with the exception of variant covers, can't get those back in either. Both Chip Zdarsky books. So last week I got phone calls for these two books. So not the ones that I sold out of and that I thought might be something you might want to check out. Maybe this might be the possible, big winner. Nope. This was this is really the second book. Only one or two people talked about it. And it was Florida Hippopotamus Cocaine Massacre. By Mad Cave. I like Mad Cave fine, but I don't know these creators, and I'm not really into buying a whole lot of new books. I said that last week. But sure enough, there was somebody that called in asking for this. They also asked, and they weren't the only person, and I even had a regular ask about this book. From Image Comics, we had White Sky. Because once again, these were people that I hadn't heard of. Wrong one. That I hadn't heard of. I mean, cool cover, but my stance on guns on covers from creators I don't know. Try harder. That's what I say. And I didn't get it. And I'm pretty sure I didn't even know that there were guns on the cover. I just don't need to really work too hard for an Image comic. There's already a second printing coming out, so if you're interested in it, we'll have it in the store. I got a few for some people. Should there be people that want them. And yeah, there you go. So this is these are the two books that came out this week that were pretty popular. Out there and spew some information about it. Maybe some other site is talking about a comic store. Maybe they're sponsored by a comic store that does covers. Maybe there's tangentially some connection with some other source out there that I have no idea about. Maybe television, maybe movies. What's the difference? Streaming. Maybe the writer or the artist is somebody. It's never the artist, so it must be the writer. The artist is somebody if they're an artist that's worth being somebody. But when it's the writer, quite often there's no reason to care about them other than the fact that somebody cares about them. They've all got parents, you know what I mean? So the state of comics. We're gonna talk about just comic books right now. Okay. You know what? Why don't we do this first? Let me say to each and every one of you that are live right now. We'll do this one.
Hello. 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 Hello.
Hello, everybody. Let's do this. Let's go comments. Look at that. That's cool. Eric O'Sullivan was here first. The most important thing, in my honest opinion, is to support small American businesses. And that means shopping locally and not from big box online store sources. And in the end, the love you take is equal to the love you make. All right. Awesome. I'll be getting your package out to you soon. In the other room, we've got Jilby Pill. Hello. Not near mint. This will be sweet relief after watching some old guy slur his words on TV for 2 hours. Yes, it'll be some guy slurring words for at least an hour. Oh, my God. Let me tell you. That State of the Union address tonight was like, it was the biggest. It was like when they're giving the Medal of Freedom, and they're even saying, and he's even saying how he's going to give the Medal of Freedom to these people. And then he gave some guy some medal. He looked like he wasn't going to last the night. So that makes sense. But I mean, it was just like, and then bring these people out, and let's mention these people, and let's mention these people. And any other time he was just talking about the past. I mean, obviously things that are so much better than the past. But then, you got to name drop all those people. It was crazy, just crazy. How's your father? Good evening. Good evening to you. Walk's here. Walk. What's up with it? Joaquin beat me at a game of Spider-Man Magic on Sunday. I shouldn't have just held one mana at the very beginning. I should have mulliganed, but nonetheless, he won. All right. Dr. Postalot's here. Excellent. And then ready for NCBD. Yeah, totally. And not near mint. So I ordered every single one of those hot books. Oh yeah. And oh man. I ordered every single one of these hot books by FOC at my shop and got skipped on every damn one. Man, that sucks. I wish I had them. I'd send it to cover. Cover. Right, you guys are talking to each other. Good. All right. The industry is mostly Marvel, DC, and Image. Image is the number 3 company. And the difference between number 2 and number 3 is vast. And the difference between 3 and 4 is pretty significant also. So you've got 4, 5, 6, and anything else below them all fighting to barely be noticed. And that includes Dark Horse Comics, Image IDW Comics, Oni Comics, Boom. Boom had great success when Keanu Reeves was doing Berserker. It was also during the pandemic and not as many books were coming out during that time. It was an exciting book and it was fun to follow. Had good creators on it for sure. But that was like the only time. I mean, there's also, I think, a Kickstarter involved and it got like $1 million, mostly on Keanu's name, I'm sure. So it was pretty hot. And they didn't beat Image. They didn't get to Image level. So they're in, so how the industry goes is Image, DC, and Marvel. And right now, by all accounts, it seems that DC is walloping Marvel. But not unlike any other time, I do believe, even I said this the last time we were talking about, this probably last year, Marvel might not be doing as well as far as excitement is concerned, but the way they produce their product and put it out there, they are often going to be still the market leader when it comes to like raising money. And it's difficult these days because of these companies not sharing their numbers. It all used to go through Diamond when they were the only company distributing. And of course, we all hate monopolies here. But there are always, there are good things when the mob is running things, you get a little bit more security in your street. It's just the mob is the one that's smashing stuff. But there's safety out there, and we don't got no diamond no more. So it's kind of like the Wild West when it comes to numbers, and most of what we get are statistics. And in baseball we say this is a very small sample size, but there isn't that many stores. So we're like, all right, we can extrapolate from like 150 stores that go through the Comics Hub program, and they have to sign up and pay and be a part of it. And there's this whole poll system that I don't even want to think about having to pay attention to. And so I don't want to be involved in it. Also, I'm pretty guarded with my numbers. I mean, here I talk to you guys about, what sells well, but I don't usually give you numbers. And when I do, they're all just kind of fantasy numbers. But I'm not the only store that only orders maybe 3 to 5 of something, because I know I have 3 to 5 dedicated customers that will try anything depending on what those books are. Usually I'm talking about non-superhero stuff, so not Marvel and DC. How is the industry doing? Well, like always, Batman is selling well for DC, and it's questionable how much all the other stuff is doing. Now, in my store, I'm pretty much selling through all the Absolute books, but after you get through Martian Manhunter, Superman, Batman and Wonder Woman, the other 2 titles are going to be, maybe not doing so well. And DC's already talked about new Absolute books they're going to be having coming out. There's going to be a new Green Arrow, and there's going to be a new Catwoman. And the Catwoman sounds like it's going to be ripping. I mean, it's going to be really big. Like my small ass little store is going to have to consider ordering a ton of those books. You know what I mean? And I'm excited about some of the new books that are coming out from DC. And there are some books that DC's putting out right now that are quite good. The Justice League. I don't read it anymore, but Aquaman, Justice Society is really good. The first issue of that Stephanie Williams Wonder Woman that's filling in for Tom King. I enjoyed that. So there's some promise there. Looking forward to the new Firestorm. Looking forward to Legion of Superheroes. Joshua Williamson's blowing up, and he's taken his steam not only over to the Energon universe where he's been with G.I. Joe, but also now over at Marvel where he's doing Iron Man. And these are promising things. So we have a star that's going out there that isn't bound by any one company and is doing things that people are enjoying. He's had a long run on Superman recently, since it started, I guess I should say. And that one's been really, really good. And even though I'm not really reading the DCKO stuff, the Superman's selling well. It's one of my cigarette books, always sitting behind me. More on that in a little bit. Marvel, all right, so DC has a big KO thing going on. There's still the team up with the Absolute universe. There's still the Absolute versus the DC universe. There's still the Legion coming up. There's, oh my God, the Legion and the Bad Legion. That's going to be something. So there's a lot to look forward to. They've got Bat books aplenty starting up. Greg Rucka writing Batwoman. Danny on art on that one. Vertigo's got already some really good titles that are coming out. Bleeding Hearts. Nice House by the Sea still continues to go on, and things like that. So DC really seems like they have their S together, but again, we don't really know what the sales are. We just know that there's been a ton of printings of all of the Absolute books, but going to a second or third printing isn't really necessarily that big a deal, because if I go back to look for, I was looking at issues to reorder, and I was over at Marvel looking for Weapons of Armageddon, the Wolverine miniseries, I think it was. And they don't have the main cover, but they have the variant cover. And they've already announced the second printing. And Image does that often. They'll have the second printing, and DC doesn't necessarily announce it that way, but when things go out immediately, they got to get on that and let you know that it's coming out. We've got it ready to go. It almost seems like they often have it ready to go even before they really need to. Where was I going with that? So DC having all those printings is very, it's good. It's good that this is happening. It's good that they needed to go to a second print for a Flash book that didn't really sell that well. But if you printed enough in the beginning, it really wouldn't have been that big a deal. So a bit of the second printing, third printing, fourth printing, fifth printing seems a little bit manufactured. And we can look over an Image, and Kirkman, who's doing so very good with his Energon books, Transformers, G.I. Joe, they have crazy amount of printings and crazy amounts of variant covers that go along with those printings. And again, it's neat and it's fun, but it could be a little gimmicked also. I'm being nice about this. It could be a little gimmicked. Marvel, on the other hand, they have some things that are going on, some things that I think that are very good. You've got Infernal Hulk. The X-Men books are pretty good. X-Men Uncanny. Recently been reading Wolverine by Ahmed. Pretty good. Last couple issues of Zdarsky's Captain America, his Wolverine, the stuff that's going on with Armageddon that's going to be happening. That's a thing. And it's all right. I'm all right with it. It's not too bad. Spider-Man's got a little thing that he's got going on, and we have a big old Hulk crossover that's going to be going on next year. But if you're reading Infernal Hulk right now, you're going to want to be caught up with all this. And you're probably going to have to pay attention to some titles that you wouldn't want to pay attention to. And if you're not reading Hulk right now, you might get sucked into it just a little bit because of all the other books that you read. So maybe not the greatest thing that's going on, but it's a typical Marvel thing to do. So is doing 5-issue miniseries, and they've got those aplenty. And even though they start new series, they usually end pretty quick. This Infernal Hulk run is only supposed to go 10 issues, bridged by a little bit of a series, and then into the Hulk thing that's going on next year. I love Philip Kennedy Johnson's Hulk. With Nick Klein on art, Kev Walker on art, some of the other people. The Incredible and Infernal so far has been really good. More on that in a little bit. I don't know if it's going to be something that's going to play out for everybody. So Marvel's like kind of putting some effort on their future right now with events and people coming on books, like Bendis on, I guess, Avengers, Alias starting up with a new miniseries, and miniseries. So events, miniseries, and some staples that are still going on. And of course, we have this Venom Spider-Man crossover that's going to be going on. More on that in a little bit also. Oh, jeez, I gotta take a drink. That reminds me. Let's do this. I said hi to you guys. I haven't been drinking that much lately. I'm trying to lose some weight again. I got on the scale the other day and I was like, what? I gasped. I really did. I was like, I was like Sue Storm in the early days. Oh, let me repeat what Reed says. And I was like, oh my gosh. I got fat again. What happened? All right, let me get rid of these pictures. I'm going to bring some up. And then I'll play that little video there. So those are some things about the comic book industry. So it's doing well. I mean, obviously the Batman and the Absolute Batman stuff has been killing it. I don't even necessarily read that stuff, but everybody's enjoying it. It's getting people outside of the store coming in and buying it. Only that sometimes, and sometimes other things. I've got people that are coming in and buying lots of DC books as a result of the Absolute stuff. And they're not really buying a whole lot of Marvel books. So what I think I'm seeing within the industry, within comics and then the industry, is that people are kind of hunkering down on what they like more than they normally did. If you like DC, you're reading DC. If you're liking Marvel, you're reading Marvel. I definitely have some people that read all of it, and sometimes anything Image also. But I am seeing a little bit more lines being drawn. Like maybe there's this one Marvel comic book this one guy or gal gets, or maybe they get something over at DC and it's just the one thing, and then the rest is from Marvel, or maybe it's rarely something from Marvel and DC, and it's an Image, a Dynamite, a Boom, I don't know, Mad Cave type book. There's a lot of that's the other thing about the industry. It's so much property. And it's silly to say that because Marvel and DC, they're only property-based books, right? But I'm talking about when you have to really license something from outside of something that you created. Don't want to fight about creators' rights here in this situation. Maybe that'll be a next year thing for the industry. But yeah, so comics bleeding into the industry. I think the industry is doing well. They're saying they're doing well, and they're chugging along. I really seriously believe that comic book will be the last print industry that's really going. Maybe selling Bibles. Maybe Bibles will be the last one. But like as far as entertainment is concerned, we're not gonna have newspapers. We won't have big books. I mean, there'll be books, but the visual medium, reading something, magazines, whatnot, comics will be last for sure. Someone will always be making comic. Maybe somebody will always be doing a newspaper. But I think the industry is doing okay. Where I find it to be, and I don't know nothing about money, but what I see is that my success as a store is dependent obviously on my customers. Word of mouth getting out there, other stores maybe telling people about me, maybe me telling about them, us being a community to some degree, and just getting out there and slinging the books. And as long as people are able to keep coming in and doing it, I'm okay. Having some things to sell other than comic books, it's not quite what I'm really doing in the store, but there are always some knickknacks. We're doing the Spider-Man magic cards. We also recently have been putting in fantasy and some science fiction novels that aren't comic book creator written, because recently Half Price Books closed down, and I can't remember what the other store up on Shattuck was called by Saul's, but that closed down. And I don't know, other than like going out and driving somewhere significantly, I'm not exactly sure where you're going to get your books these days other than Amazon. So don't forget, I can also order. And I feel like the fantasy books, the sci-fi books that I have in right now are pretty good. Even if some of them are a little bit PG role-playing style ones. Yeah, Fantastic Comics is doing okay. I like to pay myself some money for real, but we're getting there. I feel stronger than we ever have been. I'm considering doing a buy with the person that's come in with some really good stuff. So that could be very beneficial for us, but of course that involves sinking money into it. So that's another thing. And taxes are coming up and all that stuff, so getting sick would be very bad. But I think Fantastic Comics is doing well. Obviously, there needs to be product to be putting out, and there is product being, there is coming out right now. All they need to do is keep it in print, Marvel. Their epic line, they finally got to the John Byrne Fantastic Four, the Frank Miller Daredevil, the Walt Simonson Thors are going to be coming out. We can introduce a whole new audience to the all-time greatest comics that have ever come out from those titles if you just keep it in print, Marvel, because already the Frank Miller one's out. And I know when you get a paperback and you look at it and it's like $55, you're like, you'll gain weight. But tomorrow it's going to be even more. And those books aren't cheap anyway. So 55 in a very nice volume of an epic edition is something you should come in for. Definitely order it out if you have to. But yeah, that's definitely something. All right. That is a brief. We can talk about it more in the store if you're interested. Come in and buy your comic books. And also listen to what I am talking about right now so that you don't miss out. Okay. All right, here we go. It's just this.
What's going on right here? It's a big night.
Well, it's just an old run-of-the-mill Wednesday. Well, the calendar's full of them.
That's right. It's full of them. Let me see. Can I do this? Scroll across. No, we don't want to do that. Huh. They changed some stuff in StreamYard and like this tonight's show bit. Hey, I never told anybody. Did you know that I was that we were also a comic book store in Berkeley, California, Wednesday to Sunday, 12 to 5? Oh, let me see. Can I do that here? Oh, I can. Look at this position. So I'm going to put this at the top. Look at this. Whoa, is that crazy? I don't know. What happens if I do this? I gotta find it. Oh, here it is. Oh man, I've never seen the live customer count so low on my screen before. That's our Patreon. If you want to get your phone out, you can take a look at it and give us some money if you enjoy what's going on. We are going to talk about some new comics that are coming out. Duh. Let's start with this one. Oh, the aforementioned Flash. A couple issues ago, it sold out real quick, and I had already up my numbers a bit. Look at that. You get Mark Waid on the book, you tie it into DCKO, and what do you know? People care. Take Cy Spurrier off the book. Relegate that guy to Vertigo-style books only, please. Or X-Men Legacy. That was with Legion. That was really cool. Mike Del Mundo covers. Whew. Really cool stuff. Green Lantern number 32, Jeremy Adams. What? Is he finally popping the has he never proposed? Wow. Green Arrow trying to make Carol an honest woman. Is it Carol? Whatever. All right, Joshua Williamson. We talked about him. He's doing Iron Man for Marvel. Please, please, please. Keep doing it for a while. Carmen Canero on art. Really, really good second issue. Liked it a lot. Can't wait to put this as a cigarette book real soon because I got people that are enjoying this book already. I'm talking about it confidently to people that might not buy it normally, and we're going to make this a success, right? Void Rivals number 27 comes out. This is part 3. Of course, I put the banner where part 3 of the Quintessence War. Yeah, let's do this. All right, that's a Robert Kirkman written book. Robert Kirkman, he's doing really great stuff over at Image. Image is, I think if it wasn't for Robert Kirkman, I'm not quite sure where they're going. I mean, obviously there's Spawn and the Spawn universe, and it's like Todd McFarlane's trying the Marvel method of just getting so much stuff out there that it just floods the market. But I'm not playing his game. Spider-Man Wolverine number 10. This was a really good series, and it's sad to see it go, but this is a good last issue. Can't wait to read it, and looking forward to it. I paged through it already. Rogue number 2. The first one was good. I liked it. Erica Schultz is writing, and I don't remember who the artist is, but it's not DNA. And yeah, it was all in this time period, so it's not like a Rogue in the past story. Escape number 6 by Rick Remender and Daniel Acuna. What is this, like a anthropomorphic World War II story? Sorcerer Supreme number 3 by Steve Orlando and Bernard Chang. This is selling well for me. People like the magic. This would be one of the things. Maybe somebody would read DC, but or maybe only something like I have a guy who comes in, he gets Star Wars, Star Trek type stuff. And this is like one of his only Marvel books that he gets. I guess other than like Star Wars. The Power of Fantasy issue number 16. This is a Kieran Gillen book. Image and Kieran Gillen. That's this is a very successful combination. And although this isn't a very high seller in my store, it's doing quite well, and in trade format, it's doing well also. So a good reseller later on. New History of the DC Universe, the Dakota Incident. This is a one shot. Comes out in Black History Month, and it takes the milestone characters and inserts them even more, or ensconces them even more solid than they were before within the DC universe. They recently did a New History of the DC universe. That was like a 6-issue miniseries. And this is a great companion piece to go along with it, even though some of these characters had already been discussed within that original one. This is going to be a little bit more focused on them. Psylocke Ninja, unlike the Rogue book, this is taking Psylocke back into the 251 days, I think it was, for the X-Men. And oh, look at that. We've got Elektra in this one. 2 ladies fighting with swords. Batman the Second Night, number 3. This is a 3-issue magazine-sized Black Label comic book featuring the Cape Crusader going out on his second night of action. That's why he's got those lame ears. Oh, Dan Jurgens writing and Mike Perkins on art. Mike Perkins really good at good art. Inglorious X-Force number 2. I have not read this yet, but it's sitting right here. Let me see. Sitting right here. I like the first issue. Tim Seeley, not really one of my favorite writers, but his work on Psylocke was also good. But on this one, I liked it a lot, and that Sta Maria is a pretty good artist also. And yeah, I don't have a problem with it like some people. The Peril of the Brutal Dark, an Ezra Kane mystery. So I assume this is, I mean, it looks like a criminal cover, you know. Let me see. This is Chris Condon, who does that Texas book. I can't remember what that was called. He also does Green Arrow recently for DC and Ultimate Wolverine over at Marvel. So here he is doing a Vertigo mystery book featuring this guy named Ezra Kane. Who doesn't love a good mystery, you know? Hopefully it's good. There's no way it will ever last. Okay. The Vertigo books are not meant to last. They're supposed to go 60 some odd issues. And this is one of them. This will probably be a series of miniseries, probably. That's my guess. Predator, speaking of miniseries, Predator Bloodshed #1. I looked up this guy, Jordan Morris, and he only has done some comic book stuff. And I don't understand how he got the job to be doing Predator Bloodshed. But whatever, he wrote comics, so that's probably the reason. I've got quite a pitch, let me tell you about Bloodshed. But I'm sure I'm going to do well in this issue. At least this issue. All right, we've got Robert Kirkman's Skybound Company within Image, and they have the property, the rights to do the Universal Monster movies in comic book form, and they are doing the Phantom of the Opera. This one, I don't know who Tyler Boss is. I mean, he's probably been writing some of them before, but Martin Simmons is the guy that does Department of Truth. He has that kind of Sienkiewicz style. Anyway, Phantom of the Opera coming out. Black Panther Intergalactic #3. There you go. I'm not reading it. Black Panther in space. Although that looks like the Juggernaut, so I'm not quite sure what's going on here. Rocketeer, The Island is a miniseries written by not Dave Stevens. I don't know who's the writer. They're just showing the artist. Anyway, this is the main cover, but I got mostly the Dave Stevens covers because he ain't making them no more. So Dave Stevens for the win. There was also a facsimile of Daredevil 183, but I didn't decide to put that out. Instead, there's also a facsimile of Batman The Dark Knight Returns. That's right. There's going to be Frank Miller's, I don't know. I mean, it probably his. If you're a Marvel guy, you're going to say Daredevil. And if you're a DC guy, you're probably going to say Dark Knight Returns. And if you're a kind of person that's like, me, you might do, you might say, I like Year One the best. But Dark Knight Returns is really good. And yeah, they're doing facsimile. They're going to do every single issue, so all 4 issues. The funny thing about facsimiles is that it comes with the original commercials that are coming in the comic books of the time period when they came out. And Batman: The Dark Knight Returns has no commercials in the book, so you're just getting the book again. It's kind of stupid. But what isn't stupid is some of the variant covers, like this one by Jim Lee. I don't know, it's all right. Or this one by Frank Miller from Today. What do you think of that? I think that's great. And I'm not saying that to be ironic. I think it looks pretty sweet. All right, there's one other book that isn't a cigarette book that I wanted to let you all know about.
This is where he every day I'm wearing a necklace like this, and he's in this urn.
Is his ashes?
Yeah, his ashes right here and here. Yep. So both of my grandpas are here.
What's that other thing on the necklace?
It's a Punisher emblem.
What's that about?
I like the Punisher just because he's he takes his the law into his own hands to punish the people that wronged him.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of the Punisher. That whole gun thing out there killing people. I don't know. There's that who doesn't want a little vengeance in their life? I've been wronged. Maybe violently wronged. It'd be nice to do some Charles Bronson activities, you know what I mean? But as a main character that's in the book all the time, I think it's difficult to want to read that all the time. And ultimately, the Punisher as a series can't ever maintain its, You had the great Garth Ennis run, but when Garth Ennis wasn't around, did you really want to read the book? And there's some people that I know in my store, they will read The Punisher, and they're down one hundo. But I don't know. I see him as like, the absolute stuff. Once you get through it all, unless it's the entirety of your universe, it probably isn't going to last. Just like the Ultimate line didn't last. Just like Jim Shooter's New Universe didn't last. Just like Invincible. I mean, you have Invincible Universe, capes going on, and Battle Beast and stuff like that. But Invincible had to eventually end. We have some new Kirkman stuff that's going to be coming out. We'll be talking about that eventually. Looking forward to it. But you can't imagine that it's going to last forever. There's Spawn, there's Savage Dragon, but Savage Dragon probably dies with Eric Larson. And I don't know about Spawn. I mean, it's kind of like a money-making operation, but how much effort is going to want to be put into it when Todd McFarlane's not around remains to be seen. But maybe just license that shit out, right? Kirkman will do it. All right, these are the books that are behind the counter that people are actually willing to ask about or are so good that I have to put them behind me so I can let you know about them. First up, we've got Absolute Wonder Woman number 17. This represents an even more increased number in sales than I had the previous two issues, which have been climbing steadily anyway. Wow. Kelly Thompson, very, very successful on this book. Wow, if this would have been something when I was at my old location, oh my goodness, I'd really be selling the hell out of this shit. Next up, we have Absolute Martian Manhunter number 9, doing really well. Dennis Camp. He's got successful Ultimates. He's got a successful Absolute Martian Manhunter. And I've had a reorder and I've re-upped my numbers on Bleeding Hearts number 2. I think this guy is something that you should pay attention to. And he is also doing Assorted Crisis events over at Image. So he has a little bit of everything for somebody that likes something in comic books. He's probably writing one of those books. Detective Comics number 1106 is the last part of the recent storyline. Tom Taylor writing and Michael Janin on art. There you go. Speaking of Dennis Camp, Ultimates number 21 with a badass looking Luke Cage on the cover. I haven't read any Ultimates, and I was like, man, I really want to read about this Luke Cage here, because I don't usually want to read about, bald-headed, I got a baby and a wife Luke Cage. But this guy, man, he's cool looking. Perry Perez is on art. He just recently did something with J. Michael Straczynski, Spider-Man Torn. I think that was the last thing he did. Infernal Hulk number 4. Talked about Philip Kennedy Johnson, Nick Klein on art. Wow. Anytime you got Mr. Fix-It on the cover, I'm interested. And this book's already good anyway, so I'm down. It's right here. All right. Superman number 35, Joshua Williamson. Boy, it's a big week for him. Oh man, the Doomsday's back. All right. Got to pay attention now. Justice League Unlimited. This is the Terrific 10 storyline where Mr. Terrific is he has access to different members of Justice League characters or people throughout time. So there's like somebody from Kingdom Come, you got Blue Superman, you got Terry McGinnis or something like that. So fun stuff for sure. Conan the Barbarian number 29, cool cover. Conan. Thor number 7, Al Ewing writing, Pascal Ferry on art. Man, I am dreading having to read our boy Al Ewing soon. I wish I could read this book because I love Pascal Ferry. I think he's a great artist, and seeing him do Thor is like a dream come true. But regardless of what I think, people are buying it. There you go. Skinbreaker number 6, Robert Kirkman. These same names keep coming up. Robert Kirkman, David Finch. David Finch, really good artist. And yeah, Skinbreaker. And lastly, this is the first part. So we're going to really call it the Omega issue of Amazing Spider-Man Venom Death Spiral Part 1 of 9. And I was already telling you how I was dreading this series. And we have Joe Kelly writing this along with Al Ewing and Charles Soule. And Jesus Saiz, I think, is the artist on this one. And you're going to have like most of the regular people working on the other books. I was like, man, I'm going to sit down and read this. And it took me, I was reading it last night and I put it down and I finished it this morning. Pretty good book. So if you're a person that reads any of these two books, then you're probably going to be okay with this. And if you're a person that doesn't normally read Venom, but you do read Amazing Spider-Man, I think this one should give you a little bit of an assurance that this series isn't going to totally suck. And what you're seeing throughout the story of this one is Peter Parker, you're getting caught up with Peter Parker, and it's not getting caught up with all the stuff he's been doing, but all the stuff he has to do having had done all that stuff. And basically he's just hearing back from all the people that were calling him, kind of like getting his life back in order, which he did in the last issue of Amazing Spider-Man. And the same thing goes through a Venom part of the story, and or I should say an Eddie Brock part of the story, and also a Venom Mary Jane part of the story. All the while on the bottom of each page is a person that died in Florida, in New Jersey, in this place, in that place, all with names that are very similar if you pay attention to them. And you get to meet this Spiral character. I've never met them before, so maybe they were in Venom before, I'm not sure. Nonetheless, pretty good first issue as far as the series is concerned. I guess I'm in. I guess I'm in. And that is new comic books for next week. Let's see here. Doc Postlot says Phantom of the Opera. Excellent. And the Dark Knight variants. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. Guess I'm in. Guess I'm in. That's what it comes down to. Well, thank you everybody for joining us. Let me play this video. It is almost a true statement. Yeah, it's almost the end of the show. So what do we got going on here? We the state of the address of the industry, I think, is strong. Because of what is going on in the comic companies. Marvel's still making money. They've got some good, solid series that are coming out and things you can actually hang your hat on looking to the future. Mostly the Chip Zdarsky, Captain America, Wolverine, Armageddon storyline that's going to be happening, and then the Philip Kennedy Johnson Hulk. And if this Spider-Man is just a 5, 6, or 7 for like 2 or 3 months to get us to those other things, that's going to be pretty solid also. Meanwhile, there are some really good books that they're putting out, some quiet hits. DC has some books that are going to be coming out, I think are going to be really good. It just is dependent on the readers. That's what it is. It's just buy the book, read the book. Buy the book, read the book. Give the book to someone else so that they can read it. You know, and not everything has to be a financial windfall afterwards. You don't buy some newspaper. You know, buy some People magazine expecting it to be worth a shit, right? Unless someone died, you know. This, what are you guys saying? Shut up, big dog. Shut up, big dog. Oh, what up, big dog? I see. I'll dab to that. Oh, you guys are hilarious. Well, anyway, I guess that's pretty much it. I told you it was going to be a quick show. I got some trailers to watch. Thank you very much, everybody. Come on back next week. Maybe there will be something a little bit more substantial. We'll see. Until then.
Lucy and Ramona cruising through the jungles of L.A. Hoping to promote a dream somewhere along the way. They're rolling through the streets, looking for a disco, passing up the treats from a kid named Cisco, trying to make connections with their blemish-free complexions, and just as fate would have it, ended up with Sunset Sam. Sam was selling watches from a suitcase on a TV tray. And Lucy and Ramona were trying to figure out if he was gay. The three of them were standing, staring at each other, when the light behind their eyes blew each other's cover. The ancient code was branded, and each of them was handed a ticket to their kingdom, 'cause they saw their brother Sunset Sam. Sunset Sam. Lucy was from Compton, and she met Ramona at the zoo. Ramona was from Brooklyn. She left when she was 22. Sam was a native of the Arizona desert, but he split when he was slated for some governmental make-work. Their differences subsided when the common bond was sighted. They were all from the same place that made the famous Sunset